Yes, we back in the building. Welcome back to Dumb Crimes and Criminals. I am your host, Rick. You're now listening to the funniest true crime podcast in the world. We are back in the building. I'm fresh off vacation. Me and the wife and kids was in Chicago for the past week, enjoying ourselves. Beautiful city. Had nothing but fun. I definitely got to go back, man. Let's give it up for Chicago. Oh, man, we did everything out there. Hold on. Pardon me. Sipping on some Bacardi right now. But yeah, man, we did everything in Chicago, man. It was on speedboats, boat rides, Ferris wheels. Man, ate the famous Chicago pizza, had Harold's chicken, did the 360 tilt, whereas you are 94 floors up and you tilt outside the building about 30 degrees outside. So you hold on and you tilt from 94 floors up. It's a glass, like glass windows that tilt out, and you kind of hang out. Did that. We did the other, I think it's a Sears Tower. I think it's called 103 floors up with the glass, with the glass, with the glass ledge that you step outside on the ledge away from the building. 103 floors up. We did that. Man, Chicago was lit, man. If you've never been to Chicago, I'm telling you right now, man, take a visit to Chicago. Check it out, man. We went to the oldest Puerto Rico museum. Went to the Bean. Man, yo, look, we was out there for a week. We did everything. You know what I mean? We did everything. One time for Chicago. And I was going to bring my laptop, but I forgot it. Plus, how we was moving around, I wouldn't have had no time to record. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely was going to bring my laptop. But we here, back home, back at the crib, man, back downstairs, you know, ready to bring y'all this podcast, man. So I said, you know what? What we going to do on today's episode? I said, you know what? We ain't doing Instagram Criminals in a while. So we're going to do the 5th installment of Instagram Criminals. Now, if this is your first time hearing Dumb Crimes and Criminals, anytime you see an Instagram Criminals, that's just stories that I came across just by browsing on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Not even looking for stories. These are just stories that come across my feed. You know, and being that I am the host of the funniest true crime podcast in the world, I bring those stories to the podcast. So anytime you see Instagram Criminals, just know these are just random stories that I came across just by scrolling on my feed. I'm not researching them. I'm not looking them up. These are just random stories. So, got a couple for y'all, man. Let's get into it. Now, this one says here, this is the first one. It says, according to reports, a federal firearms dealer contacted the sheriff's office regarding 6 guns being stolen from an auction at the end of July. The investigation led to the arrest of a 65-year-old Robin Eaker of Florida. Investigators said Eaker illegally purchased 61 firearms in a single week and is a convicted felon and prohibited from having guns. Investigators issued a search warrant for his home where they say they found 13 stolen guns, several other illegally possessed guns reportedly taken from family members, and a large amount of ammunition. Investigators said Eaker is tied to gangs in other states, and we reached out to the feds to open doors and see what the movement of the weapons was going to be. Eaker was charged with 76 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm, 6 counts of burglary, 73 counts of violation of an order of protection, and 13 counts of theft. His bond was set at $384,000. Robin, my man, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? First of all, you're 65 years old. You should be somewhere chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing the wrong shit at 65. If you ask me, that's just my opinion. At 65 years old, you should not be buying 61 guns in 1 week. What are you thinking? Do you not think that you're going to raise any type of suspicion? You brought 61 guns in 1 week. On top of that, you were a convicted felon that's not even supposed to have guns. You're 65 years old and you're tied to gangs in other states. Robert Eager, what were you thinking? Why did you not think this over? And if you got guns at home, what the hell did you buy 61 guns in 1 week for? Why did you do that? Someone get Robert Eager's information and tell him I want to interview him on the podcast. I want to know what he was going to do with those 61 guns, because it sounded like you was up to no good. It sounded like you was up to no good. You didn't have good intent. Those weren't for hunting. Those weren't for target practice. Those weren't for skeet ball shooting. You understand what I'm saying? You was up to no good about them 61 guns, and we want to know what your plans was, who you was buying them for, and what y'all was going to do with them. Because 61 guns in a week is craziness. Then they went to his crib and found 13 stolen guns. You 65 years old out here stealing guns. My man, you got shit all twisted. At 65, you supposed to be chilling, you know what I'm saying, taking it easy, enjoying yourself. You know what I mean? You got 13 stolen guns at the crib. You out here at 65 years old stealing guns. I want to know what you plan on doing with them guns, because you was up to no good, and I might be glad they caught you, because you was planning to do some bullshit. You was planning on doing bullshit. For real. You was planning on doing, I could tell, you was planning on doing bullshit, yo. Real shit. You was planning on doing bullshit, man. Let me get a sip of this Bacardi. Robert Eager, you're a wild dude. Okay, let's get into another story. James Richard Fain, 42, was sentenced, goodness, to 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to trafficking methamphetamine and possession of cocaine. Fain was driving in a black Kia Optima when he was pulled over alongside 575 on the afternoon of March 2nd, 2022 by the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office for failure to maintain a lane. During a traffic stop, officers noted the odor of marijuana, leading them to conduct a search. The search revealed a stash of illegal substances, including methamphetamine, cocaine, and marijuana, neatly packed into multiple baggies, both inside the vehicle and in Fain's jean pockets. Notably, the total weight of the methamphetamine seized amounted to 100.8 grams. Fain must serve the first 10 years of his sentence in prison, with the remaining on probation. Oh my goodness. All right. Listen, let's do this again. If you're familiar with the podcast, a lot of these stories come from people having a bunch of illegal shit in their car and doing shit to get caught. You mean to tell me you had 100.8 grams on you and you couldn't keep your ass in the lane when driving? You got to do 10 years and then 20 years probation. You couldn't keep the lane. I don't get it. Methamphetamine, possession of cocaine. They pulled you over for failure to maintain a lane. That means you were swerving. If you got that much stuff on you, why would you possibly do anything to swerve? Like, man, get an Uber. Why don't you just get an Uber? This is what I don't understand. A lot of these stories, you know, these guys will be speeding at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, speeding with 1,000,000 pounds of fucking drugs in the car. But you're speeding at 3 o'clock in the morning. First of all, you driving around at 3 o'clock in the morning, you already stand out. You're speeding at 3 o'clock in the morning. You got 900 guns on you, $1 million worth of drugs, and no license. And you're speeding at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 o'clock in the morning. I will never understand it. I'll never understand it. You know what I'm saying? Dude got 30 years. He got to do 10 in prison and then the rest 20 years of probation. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like for real, come on, man. You know what I mean? That's like, I wonder what the cops be thinking when they out patrolling and a guy comes by and he's speeding or doing something just blatant obvious to them to make them have to pull them over, and then they find a bunch of shit on them. I wonder if they be like, yo, this must be the dumbest criminal. Like, why would you basically do everything in your power to get our attention? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to get our attention? You should be moving low. You should be moving extra low. You shouldn't be, you know, out and about like just doing things to get the police attention. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be swerving. You shouldn't be trailing a car too close. You shouldn't be doing nothing. But hey, man, this is how a lot of these dudes get caught up, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into one more here. This is Instagram Criminals Part 5. Funniest true crime podcast in the world. I just wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? I got the Bacardi on deck. Probably gonna get me another shot. You know what I mean? Another glass when I finish this, man. But I will say, I definitely appreciate y'all, man. I like to shout out the listeners because, again, my numbers is going up. And y'all make it worth coming and recording. You know what I'm saying? Again, hit the email, thedccpodcast@gmail.com. I'm actively trying to build this community. I'm actively also trying to get, I'm working on also getting the episodes to YouTube. I want to bring video to YouTube and just other type of content and things like that. So be on the lookout. I'll keep you posted on that. But this DCC thing, man, this Dumb Crimes and Criminals thing, man, I truly believe I got the funniest true crime podcast in the world, and I would like the world to hear me. So if you're listening to this right now, feel free to share it with anybody who's into podcasts. Even if they're not into podcasts, put them on. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate that. Now let's get into this story. According to reports, 26-year-old Mark Anthony Gonzalez of Atwater, California, entered at least 2 condos through unlocked screen doors. He then positioned himself at the foot of the occupant's bed and started rubbing the female victim's feet. The woman told the police that she woke up during the interactions and Gonzalez took off when they confronted him. Investigators said Gonzalez was known to law enforcement in the area, and he is a suspect in numerous crimes, including stealing women's shoes, trespassing, and sexually self-gratification. He's charged with 2 counts of burglary and 2 counts of battery. Okay, now this here, he is a dumb criminal, but he's also a weird criminal, right? So this guy's thing is breaking in women's home and rubbing their feet and stealing women's shoes and things like that. So clearly this man got some type of foot thing going on. What would possess a man to break into someone's home, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, rub their feet? I don't know. if you got a foot thing like that, why not just go get a girlfriend or a wife and do whatever you want to do? You're running the risk of breaking into somebody's house and getting your damn noggin blown off because you want to rub a stranger's foot. See, this is the type of shit this is why I created this podcast, because we need to be informed and we need to know about individuals that do shit like this. You understand what I'm saying? This man is breaking into people's homes and rubbing their feet. I remember a while back, few episodes back, I'm not exactly sure which one, but I did an episode about a dude who was breaking into, I think he worked the hotel. He was a hotel. He worked at the hotel, and what he would do is come into people's hotel while they were sleeping and smell their feet. That was his thing. So search back some episodes, and you can hear that story, but I don't even have much to say about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you breaking into people's house, you smelling their feet, you doing some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you running the risk of getting your whole, you know what I'm saying, head removed off your head, doing some shit like that. You know what I mean? You run the risk of really hurting yourself, and you're traumatizing people. Could you imagine you sleep and you wake up to somebody rubbing your feet and it ain't your spouse or your mate or whatever the case? Like, come on, man. Come on. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, what are we talking about? Like, I don't get it. That's probably traumatizing. Like, real talk, that's probably traumatizing. Could you imagine somebody breaking into someone's house and rubbing their feet? Like, a random stranger just grip your feet up. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? He's nah. Hell no. That's wild. You know what? Let's do one more before I get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good. Fresh off vacation. I'm back talking to my people. Y'all support me. I'm going to bring y'all the content. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into this. This one says, damn, my man name is Shun. Let's just call him Mr. Hoffman, because his first name is crazy. I can't pronounce it. All right, Mr. Hoffman, 21, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of kidnapping and was sentenced to 40 years in state prison. Huffman, who escaped from the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility in August 2022, had nearly completed the 7-year sentence for aggravated assault with an expected release date in December of that year. After Huffman fled the prison, he broke into a nearby home and held 3 people at gunpoint for hours. Investigators said Huffman then stole a car from those he held hostage before crashing it and fleeing on foot. He was later found and hiding in a trash and then captured 2 miles from the prison. Mississippi man was sentenced to 40 years for breaking out of prison just months before completing his 7-year sentence. Now, I'm not sure if honestly, there's a deeper issue here with this particular case. You know what I'm saying? The cases that I read before was just some bug shit, but this one here, it seems to me that this young man is either mentally challenged, or he's just more comfortable just being behind bars. He's only 21 years old. He was just a couple of months away from completing a 7-year sentence, and he broke out of prison, just to go and hold people up hostage and steal their car, do all that shit, just to get sentenced to 40 years. So that goes to show you that he wasn't ready to leave prison. You know what I'm saying? Something was keeping him in prison. Maybe he just felt like, there's nothing for me on the outside. Maybe he felt like, he don't got no family. I don't know, but I think it's something. It's not. This particular case is more than just a criminal doing some dumb shit. Even though it was some dumb shit. Let me keep it 100. Like, my man, you just was about to do 7 years. You was a couple of months away from your release date. And then you escape to go do some shit to get hit with a 40 clip. So that was dumb. We not, you know what I'm saying? We can't take that part away from it. But I think that there's more of a deeper issue there because of the simple fact that you was that close to finishing your sentence and you purposely did something to get you more time. At 21 years old, you're still a young man. You know what I'm saying? You still had your whole life ahead of you. So with this particular case, like, I wanted to share it with y'all, but this is more of a serious case. And, like I said, it had to be something in that prison, man. It's almost like it's almost like maybe he was so institutionalized and his brain was so fucked up because, let's keep it 100. In the prison system, they say that, they're here to rehabilitate you, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? They don't rehabilitate you. You know what I'm saying? It's some bullshit. The prison system is bullshit. We know that. So maybe this man was institutionalized to the point where he felt like he's better off in prison. Clearly he wasn't rehabilitated for whatever he was or whatever he was going through. Clearly he was not rehabilitated because nobody would sit here, do almost 7 years, and then, escape a couple months early to go do something to land them 40 more years, and he's only 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's only 21, so shit, he got locked up at 14. So clearly this man was traumatized and institutionalized. You ever seen that movie Life? When Can't Get Right? Remember Can't Get Right? He was about to get out. He was about to get out, and he didn't want his family to see him like that. So he just ran. He was about to get out like the next day, if I'm not mistaken, but he ran across the gun line and killed them. And he did that just for the simple fact that he didn't want his family to see him in the way that he was. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that something was really going on with this young man, and I hope he finds peace in whatever he's dealing with, because this particular case is wild. Mississippi man sentenced to 40 years for breaking out of prison just months before completing a 7-year sentence. Nobody's gonna do that, But listen, man. Like I always say, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate my listeners. Again, man, if you rocking with me, just help me spread the word about the podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school. I believe the best form of I believe word of mouth is the best form of promotion. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell somebody something and they'll be more inclined to check it out. You know what I'm saying? So feel free to tell people about the podcast. And if you're listening, I appreciate it. You understand? I'm going to say that at every podcast because this is a passion of mine. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy, coming down here, talking my talk to y'all. I enjoy seeing my numbers grow, and I'm enjoying to see what this podcast is going to become, because like I said earlier, and like I always say, I believe I got the funniest true crime podcast in the world. And true crime podcast is my favorite genre of podcast, and I don't really be hearing nothing like mine. Now, with that being said, please feel free to share the podcast, tell people about the podcast. Feel free to hit the email, thedccpodcast@gmail.com, if you want to send me some stories. Like I said, man, let's build this community. I'm going to keep saying it until I get the community built. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what else we got going on? Yeah, man, so with that being said, man, I'm going to sign up out of here. Go get me another drink, chill. You know what I mean? Upload this so y'all can enjoy it. And appreciate y'all, man. I'm gone.